95. This is about 25 years after the Civil War. Look at what the people of Kentucky confirmed in our Constitution. If you look on your paper, it's in that second paragraph that begins adoption of the Kentucky State Latin motto. At the end of that it says, "We the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, grateful to Almighty God," Almighty and God are capitalized, "for the civil, political, and religious liberties we enjoy, and invoking the continuance of these blessings, do ordain and establish this Constitution." Well, we talk about it a lot in class, asking ourselves about the Christian roots of Kentucky. Not that they ordained religion, but they were very cognitive of God's part in granting us liberties, both civil, political, and also religious. While we did not create a state religion, we made sure that we respected religion based on God. There's my phone in the background. Rodney's going to get it. Based is that, I might need to take that. Tag's Body Shop. Why don't you cut the camera just a second? Alright, well that phone call was from my body shop. Fellas, when you grow up and have kids, I'm going to make a suggestion. Don't let them borrow your truck. Ask me about it in class, I'll tell you all about it. Well, okay, so this is our Latin motto, and it really brings back from 1891 a reminder that we want to give thanks to God for what we enjoy in the state. So we've talked about that a lot in class, and so I want you to memorize the preamble to the Constitution. Alright, well, we've talked generally about the structure of government. Let me look at that again. We have executive, executes the law. Judicial, judges situations in regard to the law. The legislators make the law. Okay? Now, we're going to look at the process. Remember I told you that it had to go through a process in the House and then a process in the Senate. I'm going to give you the process generally as a bill is passed. Now, it can always not be passed, and I want you to go and read through the handout that I sent you and see the possibilities. I'll mention a few of them, but I'm not going to tell you everything that can possibly happen. I just want to go through it generally so you get a feel for what happens. And what we're going to talk about is, I think if you read your handout, it'll be a little bit confusing. It's confusing to me. And it has a lot of different directions that it can go. And so I'm not going to go in every direction as we're talking, but you can read it and kind of get a feel for the different possibilities. Okay? So I'm going to walk through this as though the bill never has a problem and it goes all the way through. Of course, you'll see that there's lots of opportunity for problems with the bill getting through both houses. All right? So, our bill, bill number 857, House Bill number 857, means it started here in the House and was House Bill number 857. The first thing that had to happen was that it was introduced, and you'll read that, I believe, in number 1. It was introduced, and then it was read initially, and then it was sent to the Committee on Committees. So you come up with a law or a bill, and you don't want all 100 representatives to talk about it. You want a handful to talk about it. Well, they've grouped all of the representatives into different kinds of committees. But there is one committee called the Committee on Committees, and they can figure out where the bill's supposed to go. So, it's read and introduced, and then it's sent to the Committee on Committees. They decide where it's supposed to go, and then it goes down to that committee. Well, the committee can do several things at this point. What happened with ours is we debated it and talked about it in committee. Our kids were there. They gave reasons why they thought it should be a law, and then it was sent back in. So all 100 representatives, at least if they were there that day, could hear it read again. And then if it was presented favorably, it's read a second time, and then it comes back, and then it goes to the Rules Committee. What the Rules Committee will do is they will look over to make sure that it's not violating the Constitution in any way. And they're very powerful. When it gets back down here, they can go ahead and kill the bill by holding it and not sending it back. All right? Well, then, if they are favorable, they send it back for the third reading. And then, after the third reading, they debate it on the floor. And so now all 100 representatives will consider this bill. It hasn't been considered by all 100. They knew when it was introduced. They heard it read. They knew it was moving through committee. And now finally it's come to the floor. They've had time to think about it. They hear how the committee reports it, and then they debate it. This can go on for a very short while or a very long while. If it passes, then it goes from the House back over now to the Senate. And then it will go through this very same process over there. And if the Senate approves it, then it goes to the governor, which is what happened. Now, you've got a handout that explains all of this, and it's pretty complicated. But what you need to realize happens is they keep all 100 representatives in the know that this bill is going on, or at least they give them the opportunity. The committee is doing a lot of real work on this bill, and when they think it's at its best stage, then they bring it back, and then they're checked again by the Rules Committee, and then they debate it. And so this process makes sure everybody's in the know. It's supposed to make sure everybody's in the know. You need to understand that there's a lot of tricky games they play with this process to kind of sneak bills through or to add stuff on, but that's not really the point of this class. The point of this class is to show you the theory that our government was set up with. And so this is what we call checks and balances. We have 100 representatives that have to pass it, and we have 38 senators that have to pass it, and then our elected governor has to agree with it. Now you'll read down through there and you'll find a lot of things that could happen. I'll mention one. The governor may decide that he does not like this bill. And he may say, I am not going to sign this bill. As a matter of fact, I'm going to veto this bill. That means it does not become a law. However, all is not lost for the people who are interested in this bill, because if you can get enough of the representatives and enough of the senators to override the governor's veto, then it will become a law even over the veto of the governor. Let me look here at the notes and see if I can make sure I get this correct. Let's see. I'm not sure the note's correct. It says that the bill can be passed over a governor's veto with a majority of the members of both chambers. I don't think that's true. I have some other notes here. Let me look it up real quick and see if I can find them. Yeah, I have another set of notes. I'm going to pull them out real quick, see if it tells you anything differently. No, it says a majority of the members of both houses can override a governor's veto. So, there you have it. I'm going to look that up to make sure, but I thought it was 2/3 of each house, but it looks like it's a majority of each house. Well, I'm not going to hold you to that one. I'm going to look it up and make sure I've got it right. Okay, so you should know the 3 branches of government. You should know basically what they do, and you should know how a bill becomes a law. And we will have a quiz in class, and I will not quiz you over anything that I have not talked about. But I want you to read through and understand the whole accent, the whole attachment on, that was my phone that dinged, the whole attachment that I sent on how a bill becomes a law. All right. God bless you all. Have a good week.